Love strikes most zodiac signs like lightning, sudden, electric, and impossible to ignore. But for Capricorns, love moves like a glacier, powerful, transformative, and operating on an entirely different timeline that most people simply don't understand. While others are falling head over heels after 3 dates, Capricorns are still conducting their careful assessment, watching, waiting, and wondering if this person deserves access to the vault of their heart. This isn't about being emotionally unavailable or playing hard to get. What we're dealing with here is something far more sophisticated and profound. Capricorns have a relationship with love that's been shaped by Saturn's influence, by hard-earned wisdom, and by an understanding that not all connections are created equal. They've learned through observation and experience that the wrong person can dismantle years of careful progress, while the right person can become the foundation for building something extraordinary together. Picture this scenario that happens countless times around the world. Someone meets a Capricorn, feels that instant magnetic attraction, and starts planning their future together after a few amazing conversations. Meanwhile, the Capricorn is thinking about whether this person has the emotional maturity to handle their ambitious lifestyle, whether they're genuinely supportive or just attracted to success, and whether they're looking for a partner or just someone to complete their Instagram aesthetic. This fundamental difference in approach often leaves people confused, frustrated, or convinced that Capricorns simply don't feel as deeply as other signs. But here's what most people miss completely. When a Capricorn finally decides you're worth their time, energy, and emotional investment, you're not just getting a boyfriend or girlfriend. You're getting someone who has carefully evaluated your character, your potential as a life partner, your ability to weather storms together, and your capacity to build something meaningful for the long term. You're getting someone who doesn't just love the idea of being in love, they love you specifically, intentionally, and with a depth that most people never experience in their entire lives. The truth about Capricorn's approach to love reveals something beautiful about human nature itself. In a world where everything moves at lightning speed, where people swipe left and right looking for instant gratification, where relationships are often treated as disposable entertainment, Capricorns represent something sacred and rare. They represent the art of truly knowing someone before claiming to love them. They represent the wisdom of building relationships on solid foundations rather than shifting sand. This careful approach doesn't make them less romantic. It makes their romance more meaningful. It doesn't make them less passionate. It makes their passion more sustainable. And it certainly doesn't make them less loving. It makes their love more valuable than gold. Understanding why Capricorns take their time with love isn't just about astrology. It's about recognizing that some of the most beautiful things in life require patience, wisdom, and the courage to wait for something real. So before we explore these 12 fascinating reasons together, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you're ready to understand one of the Zodiac's most misunderstood approaches to matters of the heart. Because what you're about to discover will completely transform how you view love through Capricorn's eyes, and perhaps it might even change how you approach your own relationships. Now let's dive into the first layer of understanding what makes Capricorn hearts so carefully guarded, starting with their remarkable ability to create emotional fortresses that protect everything they've worked so hard to build. The first reason, they build emotional walls like fortresses. When Capricorns construct barriers around their hearts, they're not randomly throwing up defenses like someone having a bad day. These are architectural marvels of emotional protection, built with the same precision and careful planning that goes into everything else they do. Think about how a medieval fortress was designed. Every stone placed with purpose, every entrance carefully monitored, every weakness eliminated through years of strategic thinking. That's exactly how Capricorns approach protecting their emotional landscape. These walls weren't built overnight, and they certainly weren't built without reason. Every brick represents a lesson learned, a boundary crossed, or a moment when they realized that not everyone who approaches their heart comes with good intentions. Unlike other signs who might put up temporary barriers during difficult times, Capricorns have created permanent structures that require genuine effort, consistency, and proven trustworthiness to penetrate. What makes this even more fascinating is that Capricorns don't see their emotional walls as barriers to love. They see them as filters for quality. They've learned that people who are truly worthy of their affection won't be deterred by having to prove themselves over time. In fact, the right person will actually appreciate the fact that a Capricorn doesn't hand out access to their inner world like party favors. These walls serve as the first test of character, separating those who want easy access from those who are willing to earn something precious. The construction of these fortress-like defenses often begins early in a Capricorn's life, when they start recognizing patterns in human behavior that others might miss. They notice how people treat service workers differently than they treat authority figures. They observe how someone behaves when they think no one is watching versus when they're trying to impress. They catalog these observations and use them to refine their understanding of who deserves access to their vulnerable side. But here's where it gets really interesting. Capricorns don't just build walls to keep people out. They also create elaborate testing systems to determine who gets invited in. These aren't cruel games or manipulation tactics. They're sophisticated methods of character assessment that happen so naturally, most people don't even realize they're being evaluated. A Capricorn might notice how you treat their friends during group settings, how you handle disappointment when plans change, or whether you remember small details they mentioned weeks ago. Every interaction becomes data that either supports or undermines your case for deeper access. The second reason, love must pass. They're practical investment tests. While other zodiac signs might fall in love based on butterflies in their stomach or electric chemistry, Capricorns approach potential relationships with the analytical mind of a seasoned investor. This doesn't mean they're cold or calculating. It means they understand that love without practical foundation is like building a house on quicksand. Their practical investment test isn't about money or material success, though stability certainly matters to them. It's about evaluating whether this person represents a smart, emotional, mental, and spiritual investment of their finite resources. This investment mindset comes from Capricorn's deep understanding of opportunity cost. They know that time spent with the wrong person is time not spent building something meaningful with the right person. Energy invested in a relationship that won't last is energy not available for personal growth, career advancement, or other important life goals. This might sound harsh to more romantic signs, but Capricorn see it as practical wisdom that protects both parties from unnecessary heartbreak and wasted potential. The practical investment test examines multiple dimensions of compatibility that go far beyond surface-level attraction. Capricorns evaluate intellectual compatibility by observing whether someone can engage in meaningful conversations, challenge their thinking in constructive ways, and contribute to their personal growth. They assess emotional maturity by watching how someone handles stress, conflict, and disappointment. They examine lifestyle compatibility by considering whether this person's daily habits, long-term goals, and fundamental values align with their own vision for the future. What really sets Capricorns apart is their ability to see past the honeymoon phase that blinds other signs to potential problems. They're naturally gifted at projecting relationships forward and asking themselves tough questions that others avoid. Can this person handle the demands of my career without becoming resentful? Will they support my ambitions or try to dim my light to make themselves feel better? Do they have their own goals and drive, or are they looking for someone to provide direction for their life? Are they capable of being a true partner during difficult times, or do they only show up for the fun parts? This analytical approach might seem unromantic to some, but Capricorns understand that true romance is built on sustainable foundations. They've seen too many passionate relationships crumble when real-life pressures mount, and they refuse to repeat those patterns. Their practical investment test isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone whose imperfections they can live with and whose strengths complement their own in meaningful ways. The beautiful thing about passing a Capricorn's practical investment test is that you know you've earned something genuinely valuable. When a Capricorn decides you're worth their emotional investment, they're not just saying they like spending time with you. They're saying they believe you have the character, compatibility, and potential to build something extraordinary together that can withstand whatever life throws at you. The third reason, their heart runs on Saturn time, not Earth time. Saturn, the ruling planet of Capricorn, doesn't just influence their ambitious nature, it fundamentally shapes their relationship with time itself, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. While most people operate on Earth time, measuring progress in days and weeks, Capricorns operate on Saturn time, which unfolds in seasons, years, and decades. This cosmic timing creates a completely different rhythm for how they approach love, commitment, and relationship development. Understanding Saturn time is crucial to understanding why Capricorns seem to move so slowly in romantic matters. Saturn is the planet of lessons, maturity, and lasting achievement. Everything worthwhile under Saturn's influence requires time to develop properly. Just like fine wine or aged cheese, Capricorns instinctively know that the most valuable things in life cannot be rushed, and this wisdom extends deeply into their approach to love and relationships. This cosmic timing creates a natural patience that other signs often misinterpret as disinterest or emotional unavailability. When an Aries wants to move in together after 3 months, or a Gemini is planning their wedding after 6 months of dating, a Capricorn is still in the getting to know you phase of the relationship. This isn't because they're slow to recognize good things. It's because they understand that real compatibility reveals itself through different seasons of life, various challenges, and extended observation. Saturn time also means that Capricorns are naturally thinking in terms of decades rather than months when they evaluate potential partners. They're not just asking whether they enjoy this person's company right now. They're wondering whether this person will still be interesting, supportive, and compatible 10 or 20 years from now. They consider how this relationship might evolve as both people grow, change careers, face health challenges, or deal with family responsibilities. This long-term perspective makes them incredibly selective, but also incredibly loyal once they've made their choice. The beauty of Saturn time in relationships is that it creates space for authentic connection to develop naturally. Instead of rushing through relationship milestones to keep up with social expectations or emotional pressure, Capricorns allow each phase of connection to unfold completely before moving to the next level. This means that when they do say, "I love you," or agree to move in together, or propose marriage, they've thoroughly considered what those commitments mean and are prepared to honor them fully. What many people don't realize is that operating on Saturn time actually makes Capricorns more romantic in the long run, not less. Their slow burn approach to love creates space for anticipation, depth, and genuine appreciation to develop. Every milestone becomes more meaningful because it's been earned through time and consistency rather than achieved through impulsive decisions or social pressure. This Saturn-influenced timing also explains why Capricorns are so incredibly loyal once they've committed. They've invested so much time and careful consideration into choosing their partner that walking away becomes almost unthinkable, except in extreme circumstances. Their love isn't built on fleeting emotions or temporary compatibility. It's built on deep understanding, proven reliability, and shared vision for the future that has been tested across multiple seasons of life. The challenge for people trying to love a Capricorn is learning to appreciate and respect this cosmic timing rather than trying to force Earth time expectations onto a Saturn-ruled heart. Those who can match this patient rhythm often discover that love built on Saturn time creates the strongest, most enduring partnerships they've ever experienced. The fourth reason, they've seen too many successful people destroyed by wrong relationships. Capricorns possess an almost uncanny ability to observe and learn from the experiences of others, particularly when it comes to understanding how relationships can either elevate or completely derail someone's life trajectory. They're natural students of human behavior, and they've witnessed countless cautionary tales of incredibly successful, driven, accomplished people who had everything going for them until the wrong romantic partner entered their lives and systematically dismantled years of careful progress. These observations aren't casual or superficial. Capricorns study these patterns with the intensity of researchers conducting a long-term sociological study. They notice how a brilliant colleague's career stagnated after getting involved with someone who constantly demanded attention during critical work periods. They observe how a successful friend's financial stability crumbled after partnering with someone who had completely different values about money and responsibility. They watch how family members' health and happiness deteriorated under the stress of toxic relationship dynamics that seemed romantic at first, but revealed themselves as destructive over time. What makes these observations particularly powerful for Capricorns is their natural ability to connect dots that others miss. They don't just see isolated incidents. They recognize systemic patterns that repeat across different people, different circumstances, and different time periods. They understand that certain personality types consistently create certain outcomes in relationships, regardless of how charming or attractive they might be initially. This pattern recognition becomes a sophisticated early warning system that helps them identify red flags that other signs might overlook or rationalize away. The corporate world provides endless examples of this phenomenon that Capricorns have witnessed firsthand. They've seen rising executives derailed by partners who couldn't handle their demanding schedules, entrepreneurs whose business ventures collapsed because their romantic partners undermined their confidence or created constant drama, and ambitious professionals who abandoned their goals to accommodate someone else's insecurities or limitations. These aren't abstract stories to Capricorns. They're real-world case studies that inform their approach to romantic relationships. This observational wisdom extends beyond professional destruction to include emotional, physical, and spiritual deterioration they've witnessed in others. Capricorns have seen vibrant, confident people become shadows of themselves after getting involved with manipulative partners who gradually isolated them from friends, family, and personal interests. They've observed how certain relationship dynamics can trigger destructive behaviors like addiction, depression, or anxiety in otherwise stable people. They understand that the wrong romantic connection doesn't just waste time. It can fundamentally alter someone's entire life trajectory in devastating ways. But Capricorns also recognize the flip side of this equation. They've seen how the right relationship can amplify someone's success, provide crucial support during challenging times, and create synergy that helps both partners achieve more than they could individually. This dual awareness makes them incredibly selective because they understand the stakes involved. They're not just choosing someone to spend time with, they're choosing someone who will either contribute to or detract from everything they've worked to build. The fifth reason: their standards are mountain high for a reason. When people accuse Capricorns of being too picky or having unrealistic standards, they're missing a fundamental truth about how Capricorns have constructed their lives and what they need in a partner to maintain the altitude they've achieved. Capricorn standards aren't arbitrary or superficial. They're carefully calibrated requirements based on their understanding of what it takes to build and maintain success, stability, and genuine happiness over the long term. These mountain-high standards aren't about finding someone perfect or checking boxes on an impossible list. They're about finding someone who can match their energy, ambition, and commitment to excellence in whatever form that takes in their own life. A Capricorn who has spent years building a successful career needs a partner who understands the dedication that requires and has demonstrated similar commitment in their own pursuits, whether that's professional achievement, artistic mastery, academic excellence, or any other form of meaningful accomplishment. The mountain metaphor is particularly relevant because Capricorns understand that climbing to significant heights requires specific qualities: persistence, resilience, planning, discipline, and the ability to delay gratification. They've developed these qualities in themselves through years of hard work and sacrifice, and they need a partner who either possesses these same qualities or genuinely appreciates and supports them in someone else. Someone who lacks these qualities or resents them in others simply cannot survive at the altitude where Capricorns operate. This creates what some people perceive as impossibly high standards, but Capricorns see it as basic compatibility requirements. They need someone who won't sabotage their goals during stressful periods, who won't create additional drama when they're dealing with important deadlines or challenges, and who won't resent the time and energy they invest in maintaining their success. They need someone who brings their own strengths to the relationship rather than expecting to be carried or constantly supported. Capricorns have also learned through observation and experience that settling for less than their standards requires them to diminish themselves to accommodate someone else's limitations. They've seen what happens when accomplished people lower their standards for the sake of companionship. The relationship becomes a constant source of frustration and resentment as the Capricorn has to continuously adjust their natural way of being to avoid making their partner feel inadequate or overwhelmed. The reality is that Capricorns would rather remain single and continue building their empire than compromise their hard-earned position for the sake of having someone in their life. This isn't about arrogance or thinking they're better than others. It's about understanding their own nature and needs well enough to know what works and what doesn't. They've invested too much time, energy, and sacrifice in becoming who they are to jeopardize that for a relationship that requires them to be less than their authentic selves. What many people don't understand is that Capricorn standards actually benefit their eventual partners tremendously. When someone meets and exceeds these mountain-high standards, they're getting involved with a person who will never settle for mediocrity in the relationship, who will consistently work to improve and grow, and who will support their partner's own journey to excellence. High standards create high-quality relationships that continue improving over time rather than deteriorating. The sixth reason: past betrayals created their trust security system. Every Capricorn carries invisible scars from past betrayals that have shaped their approach to new relationships in profound and lasting ways. These aren't necessarily dramatic betrayals involving infidelity or deception, though those certainly count. Often, the most impactful betrayals for Capricorns involve trusted people who revealed themselves to be unreliable, unsupportive, or fundamentally different than they initially appeared during crucial moments when consistency mattered most. Capricorns remember with crystal clarity the colleague who promised to support their promotion but undermined them behind closed doors, the friend who borrowed money during a difficult time and disappeared when it came time to repay, or the romantic partner who claimed to support their ambitions but gradually revealed jealousy and resentment when those ambitions required sacrifice and dedication. These experiences create a sophisticated understanding of human nature that informs their trust security system. This security system operates like a comprehensive background check that happens gradually over time. Capricorns have learned to distinguish between people who say the right things and people who consistently do the right things, especially when doing the right thing requires effort, sacrifice, or genuine character. They understand that anyone can be charming and supportive when everything is going well, but true character reveals itself during stress, conflict, and challenging circumstances. The trust security system doesn't make Capricorns cynical or bitter. It makes them discerning. They've learned to appreciate genuine reliability and consistency because they understand how rare these qualities actually are. They value people who show up consistently, keep their promises, maintain their integrity under pressure, and demonstrate loyalty through actions rather than just words. This appreciation makes them incredibly loyal friends and partners once someone has proven themselves trustworthy. What sets Capricorn apart from other signs is their ability to learn from betrayal without becoming permanently defensive or closed off. Instead of deciding that all people are untrustworthy, they develop better criteria for determining who deserves their trust and more sophisticated methods for testing character over time. They understand that betrayal often happens because they gave trust too quickly or ignored red flags that seemed minor at the time. The security system also includes multiple levels of trust that correspond to different levels of access to their inner world. Someone might earn enough trust to be a casual friend or dating partner without earning enough trust to be a confidant or life partner. Capricorns understand that different relationships require different levels of vulnerability, and they carefully manage how much of themselves they reveal based on how much trust someone has earned over time. This graduated approach to trust often frustrates people who want immediate intimacy or who interpret careful trust building as rejection or disinterest. But Capricorns have learned that premature intimacy often leads to painful disappointment when someone's true character emerges after they've already become emotionally invested. Their trust security system protects them from repeating these patterns while still allowing for genuine connections with worthy people. The beautiful thing about earning a Capricorn's trust is knowing that you've been thoroughly evaluated and found genuinely trustworthy. When a Capricorn finally opens their heart to someone, that person can be confident that they've proven themselves capable of handling something precious. This creates incredibly strong foundations for long-term relationships because both people understand the value of what's being shared. The seventh reason, they fear losing control of their carefully planned life. Capricorns don't just live their lives. They architect them with the precision of master builders, creating a cathedral that will stand for centuries. Every decision, every goal, every daily routine has been carefully integrated into a comprehensive life plan that balances ambition with sustainability, success with personal fulfillment, and individual achievement with meaningful relationships. When love enters this equation, it represents the most beautiful form of chaos they'll ever encounter, and that reality both excites and terrifies them in equal measure. The fear of losing control isn't about being controlling in relationships. It's about understanding how much effort and sacrifice has gone into creating the structure of their current life and being cautious about anything that might destabilize that foundation. Capricorns have typically spent years or even decades building their careers, establishing their routines, cultivating their friendships, and creating the financial security that allows them to live according to their values and pursue their dreams. The thought of compromising any of these carefully constructed elements for the wrong person feels like potential self-sabotage. This concern becomes even more complex when you consider that Capricorns are naturally drawn to other ambitious, successful people who have their own established routines, goals, and non-negotiable priorities. Merging two highly structured lives requires an incredible amount of communication, compromise, and creative problem-solving that many people underestimate. Capricorns have observed enough relationships where one or both partners had to sacrifice important aspects of their individual lives to make the relationship work, and they're determined to avoid that outcome. What makes this particularly challenging is that Capricorns often have very specific requirements for maintaining their success and well-being. They might need quiet time in the early morning to plan their day, uninterrupted focus during certain work periods, or regular exercise schedules that keep them physically and mentally sharp. They've learned through trial and error what conditions allow them to perform at their best, and they're understandably reluctant to compromise these elements for someone who doesn't understand or appreciate their importance. The planning aspect of their lives extends far beyond daily schedules to include long-term goals that span years or decades. Capricorns might be working toward specific career milestones, saving for particular investments, or building toward retirement scenarios that require consistent effort over extended periods. Introducing another person into these plans means considering how that person's goals, spending habits, career trajectory, and life philosophy will impact their ability to achieve what they've been working toward. But here's where it gets really interesting. When Capricorns find the right person, someone who enhances rather than complicates their carefully planned life, they're willing to rebuild their entire structure to accommodate that partnership. They don't fear losing control to the wrong person. They fear giving control to someone who doesn't understand the responsibility that comes with influencing a Capricorn's life decisions. The right partner becomes a collaborator in their life architecture rather than a disruptive force. The eighth reason, their self-worth depends on achievement, not validation. While many zodiac signs seek relationships to feel complete, valued, or validated, Capricorns have already done the internal work necessary to build their self-worth on a foundation of personal achievement and authentic self-knowledge. This fundamental difference in emotional architecture creates a completely different dynamic in how they approach relationships and what they need from romantic partnerships. Capricorns derive their primary sense of self-worth from what they've accomplished through their own effort, discipline, and persistence. They feel valuable because they've overcome challenges, reached difficult goals, developed valuable skills, and created tangible improvements in their own lives and often in the lives of others. This achievement-based self-worth isn't about ego or external recognition. It's about the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing they've utilized their potential and contributed something meaningful to the world. This solid foundation of self-worth creates both advantages and challenges in romantic relationships. The advantage is that Capricorns don't enter relationships from a place of neediness or desperation. They're not looking for someone to complete them, fix their problems, or provide them with an identity. They already know who they are, what they're capable of, and what they bring to any partnership. This makes them incredibly attractive partners because they offer genuine strength and stability rather than emotional dependency. However, this same strength can create challenges for people who are used to relationships where one or both partners seek validation through romantic connection. Capricorns don't need constant reassurance about their attractiveness, intelligence, or worth as a person because they've already established these things through their own achievements and self-reflection. They also don't automatically provide this type of validation to others because they assume everyone should be developing their own sense of self-worth through personal accomplishment. The achievement-based foundation of their self-worth also means that Capricorns are attracted to people who have developed similar independence and self-knowledge. They're drawn to partners who have their own goals, their own sources of fulfillment, and their own reasons for feeling good about themselves that don't depend on romantic relationships. They want a partner, not a dependent, and they want to be wanted rather than needed in the traditional codependent sense. This creates a very different type of romantic dynamic than what many people expect or are comfortable with. Capricorn love isn't about losing yourself in another person or creating a merged identity where boundaries become blurred. It's about two complete individuals choosing to build something together that enhances both of their individual journeys without requiring either person to sacrifice their essential nature or core goals. The beautiful thing about being loved by a Capricorn is knowing that their affection is based on genuine appreciation for who you are, rather than what you can provide for their ego or emotional needs. When a Capricorn chooses to be with you, it's because they genuinely enjoy your company, respect your character, and believe that your partnership adds value to both of your lives. Their love is a choice made from strength rather than a need filled by dependency. Understanding this dynamic helps explain why Capricorns take so long to commit. They're not just evaluating whether they're attracted to someone or whether that person makes them feel good. They're evaluating whether this person is genuinely compatible with their independent nature, whether the relationship enhances or diminishes their individual growth, and whether both people can maintain their personal integrity while building something meaningful together. The ninth reason: they test character through actions, not sweet words. In a world where social media has perfected the art of presenting idealized versions of ourselves, and where dating apps reduce human complexity to carefully curated profiles, Capricorns have developed an almost supernatural ability to see through surface presentations and focus exclusively on what people actually do when they think no one important is watching. They've learned that anyone can say the right things, especially in the early stages of romantic attraction. But authentic character reveals itself through consistent actions over extended periods of time. This focus on actions over words isn't cynicism. It's sophisticated emotional intelligence developed through years of observing human behavior in various contexts. Capricorns have noticed that the most charming people aren't necessarily the most reliable. The most romantic gestures don't always come from the most loving hearts, and the most impressive first impressions don't always predict long-term compatibility. They've learned to ignore what people say about themselves and pay attention to what their choices reveal about their true priorities, values, and character. The testing process happens so naturally that most people don't even realize they're being evaluated. Capricorns pay attention to how someone treats service workers during stressful situations. how they handle disappointment when plans change unexpectedly, whether they follow through on small commitments like arriving on time or remembering important details, and how they respond to other people's success or good fortune. These seemingly minor interactions provide crucial data about someone's fundamental character that no amount of romantic conversation can fake. What makes Capricorn's character assessment so accurate is their understanding that people's true nature emerges most clearly during unguarded moments in everyday situations. They're less impressed by grand romantic gestures than by consistent kindness, less moved by passionate declarations than by reliable follow-through, and more attracted to authentic vulnerability than to performed confidence. They understand that sustainable relationships are built on how people handle ordinary Tuesday afternoons, not just special weekend dates. The timeline for this character assessment frustrates people who are used to faster relationship progression, but Capricorns have learned that rushing this process leads to painful discoveries later when someone's true character finally emerges under stress or familiarity. They need to see how someone handles various types of challenges, how they treat different types of people, and whether their actions remain consistent across different contexts and time periods. Capricorns also test characters through subtle challenges that reveal someone's response to different types of situations. They might suggest a less expensive restaurant to see if someone is genuinely comfortable with simple pleasures or only interested in impressive experiences. They might share a work challenge to observe whether someone offers genuine support or just empty reassurances. They might introduce their friends to see how someone behaves in group settings when they are not the center of attention. This character testing extends to observing how potential partners handle success, failure, stress, boredom, and responsibility in their own lives. Capricorns want to see evidence that someone can manage their own emotions, solve their own problems, and maintain their integrity under various types of pressure before they are willing to combine their life with that person's journey. The reward for passing these character tests is earning the trust and love of someone who has genuinely seen and appreciated your authentic self. When a Capricorn finally commits to someone, that person can be confident that they've been thoroughly evaluated and found genuinely worthy. Capricorn love is informed love based on real knowledge rather than fantasy or projection, which creates incredibly strong foundations for long-term partnerships. The 10th reason, love means sharing their kingdom. When Capricorns consider letting someone into their romantic life, they're not just thinking about sharing dinner dates and weekend activities. They're contemplating handing over the keys to an entire empire. They've spent years, sometimes decades, meticulously building from nothing. This empire isn't just about material wealth or professional success, though those elements certainly matter. It encompasses their carefully cultivated reputation, their network of professional and personal relationships, their financial security, their living space that reflects their personality and achievements, and most importantly, their hard-earned peace of mind and emotional stability. Understanding the magnitude of what Capricorns have built requires recognizing the sacrifices they've made along the way. While others were enjoying spontaneous adventures or casual relationships, many Capricorns were working late nights to advance their careers, saving money instead of spending it on immediate pleasures, and making strategic decisions that prioritized long-term stability over short-term gratification. They've said no to countless social invitations to focus on their goals, delayed purchases they wanted to maintain their financial security, and sometimes even ended relationships that weren't supporting their growth trajectory. The physical space where a Capricorn lives often represents years of careful planning and investment. Every piece of furniture, every decoration, every organizational system has been chosen to support their lifestyle and reflect their values. Their home isn't just a place to sleep. It's a sanctuary that enables their success, a reflection of their personality, and often a significant financial investment that represents security and stability. Inviting someone to share this space means trusting them not to disrupt the systems and environment that support their well-being and productivity. Their professional kingdom extends far beyond their job title or income level. Capricorns typically invest enormous energy in building their professional reputation. developing expertise in their field, and creating networks of colleagues and mentors who respect their work and character. These professional relationships often blur the lines between work and personal life, especially for Capricorns in leadership positions or specialized fields. Introducing a romantic partner into this professional ecosystem means trusting them to understand and respect the delicate dynamics that support their career success. The financial aspect of their kingdom represents perhaps the most vulnerable area of trust for many Capricorns. They've typically developed sophisticated approaches to money management, investing, and long-term financial planning that reflect their values and support their future goals. Combining finances or even sharing financial information with someone requires enormous trust because financial irresponsibility or conflicting money values can quickly destroy years of careful planning and sacrifice. But the emotional and psychological kingdom might be the most precious territory that Capricorns protect. They've worked hard to create inner peace, emotional stability, and mental clarity that allows them to function at their highest level. They've learned to manage stress, set boundaries, and create routines that support their mental and physical health. Sharing their life with someone means trusting that person not to create unnecessary drama, chaos, or emotional instability that could undermine everything they've worked to build internally. The decision to share their kingdom isn't made lightly because Capricorns understand that the wrong partner can systematically dismantle what took years to build. They've witnessed friends whose careers stagnated after getting involved with unsupportive partners, colleagues whose financial security crumbled due to a partner's poor spending habits, and family members whose carefully created peace was destroyed by someone who brought constant conflict and drama into their lives. When Capricorns finally decide someone is worthy of sharing their kingdom, it represents one of the highest honors they can bestow. They're not just saying they love you, they're saying they trust you with everything they've worked to create and everything they hope to build in the future. This level of trust creates incredibly strong foundations for partnership because both people understand the magnitude of what's being shared and the responsibility that comes with it. The 11th reason, they know the difference between temporary attraction and lasting partnership. While other zodiac signs might get swept away by chemistry, shared interests, or exciting conversations, Capricorns possess an almost uncanny ability to distinguish between connections that will burn bright and fast versus those that have the substance and compatibility necessary to develop into lasting, meaningful partnerships. This discernment comes from their natural tendency to think in long-term time frames and their extensive observation of how different types of relationships evolve over years and decades. Temporary attraction often centers around elements that naturally fade or change over time. Physical appearance, novelty, shared excitement about new experiences, or the thrill of getting to know someone new. While Capricorns certainly appreciate these elements and can enjoy them in the moment, they understand that sustainable partnerships must be built on more enduring foundations that actually strengthen over time rather than diminishing as familiarity increases. Capricorns have developed sophisticated criteria for evaluating lasting partnership potential that goes far beyond the surface compatibility. They look for evidence of emotional maturity, which reveals itself through how someone handles stress, disappointment, conflict, and responsibility in various areas of their life. They evaluate intellectual compatibility by observing whether someone can engage in meaningful conversations, challenge their thinking constructively, and continue growing and learning throughout their life. They assess lifestyle compatibility by considering whether someone's daily habits, long-term goals, and fundamental values align with their own vision for how they want to live. The physical chemistry element that often drives early relationship excitement is something Capricorns approach with particular wisdom. They understand that initial sexual attraction, while important, must be accompanied by deeper forms of intimacy to create lasting satisfaction. They're looking for someone they can envision being attracted to not just now, but in 5, 10, or 20 years, when both people have changed physically and emotionally. This means evaluating whether the attraction is based primarily on external factors that will inevitably change, or whether it includes appreciation for character traits, ways of thinking, and approaches to life that tend to deepen rather than fade over time. Capricorns also excel at projecting relationships forward through various life stages and challenges that most people don't consider during the early romantic phase. They ask themselves whether this person would be a supportive partner during career transitions, health challenges, family crises, or financial stress. They consider whether someone has the emotional resilience and practical skills necessary to navigate the inevitable difficulties that every long-term relationship encounters. They evaluate whether this person would be someone they could respect and enjoy spending time with during retirement, when many of the external factors that initially brought them together might no longer be relevant. The social and family integration aspect of lasting partnership receives particular attention from Capricorns because they understand that relationships don't exist in isolation. They consider whether someone would fit well with their existing friendships and family relationships, not because they need everyone to love each other, but because they understand that constant conflict or tension in these areas creates ongoing stress that can undermine relationship satisfaction over time. Capricorns also evaluate whether someone has the capacity for genuine partnership rather than just romantic involvement. True partnership requires the ability to collaborate on decisions, share responsibilities, support each other's individual goals, and create something together that's greater than what either person could achieve alone. This requires emotional maturity, communication skills, and genuine interest in each other's well-being that extends beyond romantic feelings. The 12th reason: when they finally love, it's forever. Perhaps the most profound reason why Capricorns take their time with love lies in their intuitive understanding that when they finally open their hearts completely to someone, they're making a commitment that transcends the casual dating culture that dominates modern romance. Capricorn love isn't a feeling that comes and goes based on circumstances, moods, or temporary attraction. It's a decision, a choice, and a commitment that becomes woven into the very fabric of who they are and how they approach life. This forever mindset stems from Capricorn's fundamental nature as a cardinal earth sign ruled by Saturn, the planet of commitment, responsibility, and long-term thinking. When Capricorns invest their time, energy, and emotion into anything, they're naturally thinking in terms of decades rather than months or years. This applies to their career choices, their friendships, their living situations, and especially their romantic relationships. The concept of temporary love or casual commitment feels fundamentally foreign to their nature. The weight of this forever commitment explains why Capricorns require so much time and evidence before they are willing to say those three powerful words or make other significant relationship commitments. They understand that once they've genuinely fallen in love with someone, walking away becomes almost unthinkable, except in extreme circumstances involving betrayal, abuse, or fundamental incompatibility that threatens their well-being or core values. This isn't because they're incapable of ending relationships when necessary. It's because they're so careful about who they love in the first place that love, once given, represents a carefully considered choice rather than an impulsive emotion. This forever quality of Capricorn love creates relationships of extraordinary depth and stability that many people never experience in their entire lives. When a Capricorn commits to someone, that person gains a partner who will work through problems rather than walking away when things get difficult, who will continue investing in the relationship's growth and development over time, and who will maintain their commitment even when emotions fluctuate or life circumstances change. The permanence of Capricorn love also means that they approach relationship problems with a completely different mindset than people who view relationships as disposable or easily replaceable. Instead of asking whether they should stay or leave when conflicts arise, they ask how they can solve the problem, improve their communication, or address whatever underlying issues are creating tension. This problem-solving approach, combined with their natural patience and persistence, enables them to build relationships that actually get stronger over time, rather than deteriorating under pressure. But this forever mindset also means that Capricorns experience heartbreak differently than other signs when relationships do end. Because they've invested so deeply and chosen so carefully, the end of a significant relationship represents not just the loss of a partner, but the dismantling of a future they had carefully planned and emotionally invested in. This explains why Capricorns often take extensive time to heal from breakups, and why they're even more cautious about subsequent relationships. The beautiful truth about earning Capricorn's forever love is that it provides a level of security and commitment that creates space for both partners to grow, take risks, and become their best selves without fear of abandonment or betrayal. When someone knows they're truly loved by a Capricorn, they can trust that this love will endure through career changes, health challenges, family crises, and all the other difficulties that life inevitably presents. This security creates the foundation for building extraordinary partnerships that continue deepening and strengthening throughout their entire duration. So there you have it, 12 profound insights into the complex, fascinating world of Capricorn love that reveal why this earth sign approaches romance with such careful consideration and strategic thinking. What we've discovered today isn't a story about people who are incapable of love or emotionally unavailable. Instead, we've uncovered the sophisticated wisdom behind one of the Zodiac's most misunderstood approaches to matters of the heart, from their fortress-like emotional walls that serve as quality filters rather than barriers, to their practical investment mindset that evaluates long-term compatibility over temporary chemistry. Capricorns have developed a relationship philosophy that prioritizes substance over surface appeal. We've seen how their Saturn-ruled timing operates on cosmic rhythms that value depth over speed, how their observations of others' relationship failures inform their own choices, and why their mountain-high standards actively protect both themselves and their potential partners from incompatible matches. The wisdom of experience shapes every aspect of how Capricorns approach love, from the trust security systems they've developed based on past betrayals, to their sophisticated ability to test character through actions rather than words. Their fear of losing control over carefully planned lives isn't about being controlling, it's about understanding the responsibility that comes with sharing an empire built through years of sacrifice and dedication. Their achievement-based self-worth creates the foundation for partnerships built on mutual strength rather than codependency. Perhaps most importantly, we've explored how Capricorns distinguish between temporary attraction and lasting partnership potential, and why their forever mindset makes them some of the most loyal, committed partners in the entire Zodiac. When a Capricorn finally chooses to love someone, that choice represents a carefully considered decision, backed by thorough evaluation, genuine compatibility, and the intention to build something extraordinary together that can withstand whatever challenges life presents. Understanding these 12 reasons helps us appreciate that Capricorn's careful approach to love isn't a flaw to be overcome, it's a strength to be celebrated. In a world where relationships often become casualties of impulsive decisions, unrealistic expectations, or insufficient foundation building, Capricorns offer a masterclass in how to create lasting, meaningful connections that actually improve over time. If this deep dive into Capricorn's relationship psychology resonated with you, I need your help to continue bringing you this level of detailed, insightful astrological content. First, make sure you're subscribed to Secret of the Zodiac and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. We're constantly exploring the hidden depths of every Zodiac sign, and there's so much more cosmic wisdom waiting to be discovered together. Please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you understand Capricorns better, and share it with anyone in your life who needs to understand why Capricorns take their time with love. Your likes and shares help us reach more people who are seeking authentic astrological insights rather than surface-level generalizations. But here's what I really want from you. The comment section is where our Secret of the Zodiac community truly comes alive, and I'm counting on you to make it incredible. If you're a Capricorn, tell us which of these 12 reasons resonated most deeply with your own experience. Have you found yourself building those emotional fortresses or running your heart on Saturn time? Share your stories about how your careful approach to love has either protected you from disaster or helped you find your perfect match. If you love a Capricorn or have been in relationships with Capricorns, share your perspective on what it's like to experience their slow burn approach to romance. Did their careful evaluation process initially frustrate you, or did you appreciate being thoroughly chosen rather than impulsively selected? How did their mountain-high standards ultimately benefit your relationship? For those of you who aren't Capricorns but recognize these patterns in your own approach to love, let us know which zodiac influences might be creating similar relationship philosophies in your life. Do you have strong Capricorn placements in your birth chart? Or are there other factors making you equally selective about romantic partners? I also want to hear from people who completely disagree with any of these reasons. Healthy debate makes our community stronger, so if you think we've missed something important, or if your experience with Capricorns has been different, share those perspectives too. Every comment helps us build a more complete understanding of how astrology plays out in real relationships. Speaking of building our community, creating this level of detailed research content requires significant time and resources. If this video provided value that you can't find elsewhere, please consider supporting our work through the Super Thanks feature. Your financial contributions directly support our ability to produce daily content, conduct deeper research, and continue bringing you the authentic astrological insights that make Secret of the Zodiac special. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps us maintain our commitment to quality over quantity and allows us to keep exploring the cosmic patterns that shape our relationships. Don't forget to explore our other videos where we dive just as deeply into every aspect of astrological wisdom. Whether you want to understand why other signs approach love differently, discover your ideal compatibility matches, or explore how planetary movements affect your relationships, we have hours of content waiting to expand your cosmic knowledge. Thank you for being part of the Secret of the Zodiac family. Your engagement, comments, and support make this work possible. And I can't wait to continue this astrological journey together. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the Zodiac, and remember that understanding ourselves and others through cosmic wisdom makes every relationship more meaningful and authentic.